Hey guys, this is Jack with Team Empire, and today I'm going over the support that was revealed on Tuesday and Thursday, because on Tuesday we had a very important reveal. It was the reveal for Magnolia Patriarch, which is the fourth Magnolia, the newest Magnolia that's being revealed in set 8. So I'm going to go over his support cards, his 4 support cards. Then I'm going to be going over the support cards we also got on Tuesday for Artisaria, Virgila, and then we're going to be going over some support that was revealed for Thursday. So a lot of cards to cover here today. I'm going to try and be a little bit quicker today than usual, but I'm going to cover the Magnolia cards majorly because that's like the biggest support here. So I'm going to go over these cards first. The first one we're just going to go over Patriarch first, because I feel like Patriarch's the most important card to talk about. We have Sylvanhorn Beast Emperor Magnolia Patriarch. It says, auto, when this unit is placed on Vanguard Circle, choose up to one card with Sylvanhorn Beast and its card name from your drop and call it to your rearguard circle. Then, continuous Vanguard Circle. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, all your rear guards can intercept from the back row and get power plus 5k. Then, if you Persona Road this turn, this unit gets drive plus 1. It's also active during your opponent's turn. So, and we're going to actually go over its third effect. Third effect is act Vanguard Circle once per turn, cost counterblast 1. Choose any number of your rear guards up to the grade of your opponent's Vanguard, and they get the red text continuous Vanguard Circle. This unit can attack from the back row until end of turn. So this is basically just Elder, but grade 3, which is already very, very good, because Elder, one of the problems with it, same thing with Masks too, but Elder's better than Masks, was that not only did you have to go second to use Friendship Fairy to immediately ride into Magnolia Elder, but it was basically a 2-card combo. You had to have the grade 4 in hand along with having the Friendship Fairy. And while I would say a good 80% of the time you would have it, that 20% of the time where you didn't, you basically just instantly lost. So this allows Magnolia to actually keep up with the current format, just riding to its grade 3 and staying there. And then being able to still get an extra drive check when you Persona Ride is still really good. And because you now are encouraged to Persona Ride, you can play cards like Sorol, which can increase your power big time. You can also play the new card, which is a cross between this and Leonhorn support. It's a grade 1 that's like an energy cycler when it's discarded for Magnolia, and then from drop you can bot deck it, choose one of your rear guards, and set its power to 15k. But if you Persona Road that turn, you set its power to 20k. So when you Persona Ride, you can set your Keynote at a base 20k power. It'll get 5k from Patriarch's second effect, and then it'll get 10k from the back row Persona Ride if you have Sorol. So already Patriarch's just really good. The only problem is that it's like, the only real problem here is that it's a CB, but it's basically like a combination between Elder and regular Magnolia, since it's CB1. So if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 2, if you're going first, he'll be able to have 5 attacks, which is obviously better than 4 attacks. The only thing is you don't get power. Like, that's the worst part, is that if you're going first, you don't get a lot of power. But the fact that you get 5 attacks right away, and there's plenty of ways to countercharge using cards like Alpin, and there's another card we'll talk about in a few minutes that will actually reduce the CV cost. So yeah, Patriarch, super good card, super good upgrade. I'm excited to play it. Now we're going to go over some of the other support cards. We have this grade 3 right here, which is Sylvanhorn Beast Virgila, which says continuous Rearguard Circle or Guardian Circle. If you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard of Magnolia and its card name, this unit gets intercept and shield plus 5k. Then auto back or Rearguard Circle. When this unit attacks, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard of Magnolia and its card name, this unit gets power plus 10k to end of battle. Very simple card. Unfortunately, I don't think you'll see much play. There's better cards to play. You can play cards like Inlet Pulse, obviously, for grade 3s. You can even play that one like Winzapoo, which also gets 10k. Or more likely, you probably want to play more grade 2s in your list, because Magnolia is kind of built on grade 2s. And with this card now, there's a few cards that you actually want to play in your list that are like kind of set, like Sorol, like the new grade 2 we'll talk about in a bit, along with Inlet Pulses, along with Goildotes. Like, there's a ton of different cards that you probably have to play in this new build, so this card just won't see any play. Also, only being a 5k interceptor is really bad for having a grade 3. Next we have the double rare, which is this guy, Sylvanhorn Beast Voljar, which has the effect auto Rearguard Circle. When this unit attacks, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard of Magnolia and its card name, until end of battle, this unit gets power plus 5k and your opponent cannot intercept. Then auto Rearguard Circle at the end of your turn, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard of Magnolia and its card name, and if your unit attacked from back row this turn, put this unit into your soul and draw a card. So this is just a really, really insane card. This is basically just Inlet Pulse 2 for the deck. Like, even more so than Goildo, because Goildo you can only use one to draw every single turn. With this, it doesn't care how many attacks in the turn. It doesn't care about where it attacks. It just cares if your unit attacked from the back row. So you can even call 2 of these here and just have your Goildo and still draw 3 cards. Yeah, this card, and also the intercept prevention is actually pretty good against some matchups because it kind of forces your opponent to intercept like your Magnolia swing first. It forces your opponent to kind of get rid of those rear guards so that like when this guy swings, your opponent can't just be like, oh, I'm going to intercept, because it can't. Yeah, just a really, really good card. Super good. Definitely a 4 of staple in the deck. The last card, I'm not sure if I'm going to play it right away, but it still is a very good card. It's Sylvanhorn Beast Comadret. Its effect is auto from drop zone. When your grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Magnolia and its card name is placed, perform one of the following. If you do not have a rearguard with the same card name as this card, you call this card to Rearguard Circle, and if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, this unit gets power plus 5k till end of turn. Then you put this card into your soul, or sorry, the other effect, my apologies, is you put this card into your soul, choose one of your Vanguards, and the cost of that unit's original act abilities is reduced by CB1 until end of turn. So this is like a Rezumi for the deck. It's a Rezumi for the deck because it cares about if you have one on board already. If you don't, you call it, and it'll be like a 15k attacker, 10k attacker if you're going first, or you can shove it into your soul to reduce your Vanguard's act abilities, which is really good. I'm not sure. Again, I'm not sure if this will see play because for me personally, there's a few cards I actually want to try out first, but this is still a fine card. And it's also only a rare, so it's really good for a rare. Like, it's basically a maple for the deck. So yeah, Magnolia got some really good stuff. I think Magnolia is definitely going to be a pretty good contender, depending on what Youthberg and Blankmeyer do, because those two, if they're crazy, Magnolia might have some trouble. Next up, we have Artisaria support. We're going to go over her triple rare today. It is Angelic Echo Luminoel. It has the effect auto, and this unit is placed in a Rearguard Circle. Choose a grade 3 card with Artisaria and its card name from your hand, and you may reveal it. If you reveal the card, or you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Artisaria and its card name, cost Energy Blast 2, call a Shadow Army token in the Rearguard Circle, and that unit cannot attack until end of turn. Then we have effect auto, when this unit is put on Guardian Circle. If you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Artisaria and its card name, cost retire 1 or 2 Shadow Army tokens, and this unit gets shield plus 10k until end of that battle for each unit retired for this cost. So yeah, this card's pretty crazy. It's pretty cracked. Like, if you have an Artisaria in your hand, which I feel like you are going to mulligan for, and you call this can make an easy 25k attacker, or even just call it to another column and use Yuika, and with Yuika you can bounce this back to your hand. So if you're playing against a deck that has removal, you can just bounce this card back, and then it's protected from any of your opponent's removal skills, and you can still use the skill on Guardian Circle. And obviously, like, later on, you can just call this down because you will be on a grade 3 Artisaria Vanguard and call even more Shadow Army tokens. So this card is pretty great. It's pretty good, and the guard skill is really good. It's pretty much just like a better version of whatever the fuck Orpheus got in set 5, I'm pretty sure it was, because his is like you retire a Shadow Army to get 5k for that battle. For each one you retire, this is like you can retire 2 to make this card a 25k shield, which is really strong. On top of that, Energy Blast 2 isn't even really bad because some Artisaria lists don't even play like energy cyclers, and because it's only EB2 and Artisaria is only EB2, it's gonna take a while for you to not have enough energy to do Artisaria's and then her skill. Like, the fact that it's EB2 doesn't really matter that much. Super free card, really good. If that's all Artisaria got, I'm not sure if Artisaria is gonna be any better than she already is. She might be like just as good, but like maybe she'll get another triple rare, who knows. Next up, we're going to go over the Virgila support. This is in the power deck set. If you don't know what Virgila does, he basically is just like the super rush deck. The grade 2 for the ride line can get like a crit if you have 4 or more rear guards, and then it has an order that can increase your Vanguard's power by 3k for each normal unit in your drop or on your Rearguard Circle. So it's just like a super rush deck. It revolves around binding and grade 2s. Like, it's pretty interesting, and it has a rearguard called Izerwer, which is a 15k power, 15k shield, like vanilla unit, but this deck revolves around it, so you're gonna see that name a lot. So we have the first one, which is Dawn of the End, N-Wing. which is a grade 2 that says when this unit is placed in a Virgil circle, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Virgila in its card name, cost Energy Blast 3, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and bind it. Then auto rear guard circle, when your rear guard with Urzawa in its card name attacks, this unit gets power plus 5k till the end of that turn. And then continuous Guardian Circle, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Virgila in its card name, this unit gets shield plus 10k. So honestly, not that terrible of a card, because Virgila does have a skill that can restand a grade 2 on attack, which will more than likely be your Urzawa. So if you use this, you swing with Urzawa, it does pick up 5, because keep in mind it's not once per turn. You swing with the grade 3 Virgila, stand Urzawa, swing with Urzawa again, and their 5k will go to N-Wing. And obviously being a 15k interceptor, 15k shield is pretty good. Since deck is already pretty tanky, because Urzawa himself is already a 15k interceptor, and they recently got a promo which allows you to actually prevent Urzawa from being targeted by card effects and giving it 5k shield. So this deck is becoming a little more tanky, which is pretty good. And of course, like, more binding is pretty good, just because there are some cards that can't be retired, and there's some really pesky rear guards that some decks have, and with more revival coming into the game than ever, it's really good to like bind your opponent's stuff. So honestly, not a terrible card. It's actually pretty good. Next up, we have a new order. For those of you wondering why it's sideways, Virgila has a special order called Ultimate Skill, which they're just like sideways. They're basically just manga panels. This one looks super cool. It's Urzawa right there. It's called Blazing Starcross. You play this if you have a Vanguard with Virgila in its card name, and you pay the cost with Soul Blast 1. Choose one of your units with Urzawa in its card name, and it gets power plus 10k till end of turn. And if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, it also gets the red text. Auto Rear Guard Circle, when this unit stands by the ability of your Vanguard with Virgila in its card name, if either your opponent's bind zone has 3 or more cards, or you Persona Row this turn, this unit gets critical plus 1 till end of turn. So honestly, it's pretty good to have more ultimate skills, because you only had the one, which you played at 4, and while it's still a decent card, it doesn't actually close out games. It just makes your Vanguard super big. So using this on Persona Ray turns is better, because it allows your Urzawa to actually have pressure, which is pretty nice. And there's also a searcher for Virgila that looks at top 7, and it adds a ultimate skill card to your hand, and there's only one, so if you didn't find it, it's like, oh well, you get nothing. So increasing the amount of ultimate skills in your deck is pretty good. This card's alright. Next up, we have Flare Cosmore. This is a grade 1 with the effect auto from drop zone. When your unit with Urzawa in its card name is placed, say by Virgila's Energy Blast 3 skill, you counterblast 1, call this card to Rear Guard Circle in the same column as that unit. If that unit was placed by the ability of your Vanguard with Virgila in its card name, this cost is reduced by CB1. And then auto back row Rear Guard Circle, when your unit with Urzawa in its card name stands during the battle phase, you stand this unit. So honestly, it's pretty much just a maple for the deck. So when you call it off Virgila's Energy Blast 3, you call this now, and it calls for free. And then also, it's a restanding booster. So if you use Blazing Starcross along with like your promo that you have, and you target Urzawa with those, Urzawa will be a 30k attacker with this 38k attacker, and then when you restand, it'll still be 38k without triggers. So like, that's not too bad going first. It's honestly pretty good. And that's pretty much it for Virgila. As you can see, we have the little bit of a deck set here. You do have Union of the Sky reprinted, so keep that in mind along with Shenri. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the support from Tuesday. I know it was already a lot, but we're going to go over some of the support for Thursday. So we got 2 Flam Glam cards. We have Thumbs Up for Brar, which has the effect, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Flam Glam in its card name, cost retire this unit. Choose a normal unit with Flam Glam in its card name from your drop, call it to Rear Guard Circle, and if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, that unit gets power plus 5k till end of turn. Honestly, not too bad, but the only thing is, like, it's not a Flam Glam, so it becomes kind of hard to search cards like this. There's already some better cards. There's the 10k booster that can like look at top 3. Maybe this could replace it, because you do want to call some of those cards from drop. There's also that one card from set 4 that like Energy Blast 4 to call a Flam Glam from deck or drop, and that one's really good. So it's kind of just, that one's kind of a better version of this. The only benefit this one has is that it's free. But yeah, it's an alright card. It's not terrible for like a rare. It's decent. And next up we have the double rare. This card's really good. It's Flam Glam supporting Drum Rimrill. So already it's a Flam Glam that makes it very searchable. But then, as the effect, auto back row Brigade Circle. When this unit boosts, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Flam Glam and its card name, this unit gets power plus 5k till end of battle. And if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, at the end of that battle, discard a card from your hand and retire this unit. Choose one of your Vanguards and increase or decrease its drive to 2 until end of turn. So for those of you who might need a little bit of a refresher of what Flam Glam does, Flam Glam has a grade 3 that ends the battle attacked. It can pay a cost, pretty sure it's Counterblast, to ride into your grade 0 from your soul, and then that grade 0 gets plus 2k for every card in you and your opponent's damage zone, but it's still a 1 driving unit. So with this is essentially a Sequana for the deck, which is really good. Yeah, increasing your drive to 2. It does kind of suck that you have to retire it and then discard a card from your hand, but Lupe pointed out to me, which is a really good point, is that you can discard the supporting basis that has an effect from drop, that when your Flam Glam's retired, you can bind it to choose that card and put it back into your hand. So that helps proc that. It also helps that it also just like, it's kind of a fair cost, because with Ruja, which is the grade 3, when you ride into the grade 0, you don't actually discard any cards for that, so it's pretty much like a free plus. And with this, because it increases your Vanguard to twin drive, it's essentially a break even. And for that, I'd say that's really good. This helps Flam Glam close out a lot more games. So yeah, this is a really good card. Now we're going to move to the Veleno support, which is this grade 1. Veleno Famiglia Diurone, I guess. It has the effect, auto, when this unit is placed on a Brigade Circle, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Lascadia in its card name, Soul Charge 1. Then, auto Brigade Circle, when this unit boosts a grade 3 or greater unit with Veleno in its card name, it gets Energy Charge 1. So this is a decent card. Valeno actually had a problem with Soul Charge. Not really Energy Charge in my opinion. Like if you're playing the deck well enough, you can space out the amount of energy you use in a turn. But the Soul Charge is super good because you use cards like Sweet Honey Garden, the new triple we're talking about in a second, Soul Blast, for part of its cost. And then you can play some cards like the Persona Shield Cyclers from set 7 that also can add more Blitz orders to your hand for you to proc Lascadia. So for that first effect, I'd say this card's pretty worth it. Second effect, it's alright. You probably just put it behind your Vanguard and just have it there, so that every time you boost, you Energy Charge 1. But I'd say this is like a 1 or 2-0 for the deck. It's actually not terrible. But now we have the triple rare, which is this card. Veleno Famiglia Egregious. Is it Egregious? Well, okay. Auto, if your Vanguard is a grade 3 or greater insect, and keep in mind that's race, this cost can also be played with Soul Blast 1 and Energy Blast 2. When this unit is placed in a Brigade Circle from hand, other than during the battle phase, cost Counterblast 1, choose a card from your drop with a different card name from this unit, call it your Brigade Circle if it's a normal unit with a grade less than or equal to your Vanguard, or put it into your hand if it's a Blitz order. Then, continuous Brigade Circle, during your turn, if your Vanguard is a grade 3 or greater insect, this unit gets power plus 5k. Then, auto Brigade Circle once per turn, when your grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Lascadia and its card name attacks, cost Counterblast 1, stand this unit, and if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, this unit gets power plus 5k till end of turn. So this is a really good card for Veleno specifically. So this card essentially combines 2 cards that Veleno already has. First of all, it's just a better version of the Restander that we got in Divine Set 1, because that one can only restand if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater. So it effectively did nothing when you're going first, which going first is more optimal in most matchups, even in Veleno. So it's nice that this is essentially a second Restander, or just a power cut version of our first Restander, because it still gets 5k as long as your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3. Secondly, it's really good for that first effect. So it replaces the double rare we got in set 2, because that one's really good, but he's also Soul Blast 2. So it's a lot to pay for him in order to revive 1, and because Valeno didn't have any soul charges up until this point, it was hard to manage your soul. But with this card, you don't really have to worry about that anymore. The only thing is the Energy Blast, which maybe is a justification for why you play more of this, but yeah, this card's really good in Veleno specifically. The insect wording isn't as good as you would think. Like, realistically, the only other deck so far you can play this in is like Raja, and Stoy Raja can use this pretty effectively because CB1, or basically Soul Blast 1 EV2, you can call one of your Codex searchers, or you can call the double rare you got in set 6 that can draw you more cards. Like, it's really good for that option, but other than that, it doesn't really do anything. And Stoy Raja also doesn't play many blitz orders. If this part of the skill said any order, this card would actually find a lot more justification to be played in other Stoicheia decks, but it only searches blitz orders, which isn't as good. And in terms of like generically, a CB is a lot to ask for a lot of Stoicheia decks. So as like, I would like to say this card is super generic, like they were kind of hyping it up for, but it really isn't. It's really good for Veleno, it's pretty good for Stoy Raja, and obviously with them saying this, like insect, it's obviously we're gonna get more insect vanguards in the future, so I would keep this card in mind for the future. If you like Mega Colony and maybe are expecting it to get a encounter eventually, probably pick these cards up. And we have one more card before we're done with the support today. It's a promo, it's a Skyride promo, so keep in mind we might not get this for a long time. It is this card, it's called Crimson Flames of the Apocalypse. So it has an order effect. When you play it, draw a card, choose a card from your hand, reveal it. Call it to Vanguard Circle if it's a grade less than or equal to your Vanguard, discard it if it's not. Choose one of your opponent's front row rear guards, retire it, and if you did not retire a card, the unit called by this effect gets power plus 5k till end of turn. So already it's a pretty decent card. It's like, you know, it's technically a -2 or a -1 because you play it, goes to drop, you draw a card, but then you have to play a card from your hand. So it's pretty much the -1, but you still call a unit, and then you can retire one of your opponent's units, which is pretty good. But it has the main skill you want to focus on is the drop effect. So it's kind of like Mask of Hydrogram. You can just activate this from drop. Drop if you have a Vanguard with Overlord in its card name, and your card with the same name as this card was not bound this turn, cost Energy Blast 3 and bind this card, perform one of the following. Search your deck for up to one card with Overlord in its card name, and a different card name from your Vanguard, write it as stand and shuffle your deck. Or, if you have a Vanguard with Persona Ride and you did not ride from a grade 2 this turn, discard a card from your hand and activate Persona Ride. So, this is already kind of crazy. First of all, it allows you to basically just go into Draconic Overlord at the end instantly, which, to be fair, it already could set up the double twin drive pretty easily with Bellicosity, but now they just power crept that and just said, screw it, you can ride directly from the deck. And the second part is kind of crazy, unless this is a mistranslation, so please correct me if I'm wrong. Based on this wording, if you have a Vanguard or Persona Ride and you did not ride from a grade 2, it kind of implies to me that you can activate Persona Ride twice. That's how it's worded to me, unless there's another translation that says if you did not ride this turn, that would probably be more balanced. But if you could Persona Ride twice with Overlord, that would be crazy. So this card's insane. Like it says down here, it's pretty much just a custom card. I don't know when this is coming in English, so just keep that in mind. I don't know. If this comes out sooner rather than later, Overlord might be one of the better decks in the meta now. I know we say that a lot when Overlord gets like support, but this is the first time Overlord's gotten like a direct support card in a long time. So yeah, this card's kind of cracked. But yeah, it's looking pretty long for the recording. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next one. Bye guys.